Hey there. So this is the second video that I'm commenting on for Monster Hunter World, but actually the first video that I saved. So my at this point, two Monster Hunter videos are a little bit out of order. I noticed that I had this one recorded after I finished doing the commentary on the other one, which was the capturing the Barra. So I'm a little bit less powered in this fight. I had recorded it because this was a particularly nasty fight with this Anjanath. I want to say there's a 50-minute time limit, and I came close to the time limit. But I thought I was doing pretty good. This is probably about over halfway into tracking and trying to take down the Anjanath. The glaive that I'm using is water powered because he's a fire beast, and right there he fireballed my face. So when you faint, and you can only faint a certain number of times before you fail the mission. When you faint, you get thrown back to the nearest camp. It's a good idea to make sure to get yourself recovered and make sure everything's all good before you go back out and start hunting the monster again. So decided to have a good meal. Luckily my helpful quest handler has some meat in the oven there. Eating between hunts or eating between if you do end up fainting is a good idea. It gives you bonuses, not just the health and the stamina, but it does also give bonuses to increase attack, increase resistance, which I definitely need increased resistance to that flaming froth coming from the Anjanath's mouth. So now it's back on the trail, and just following the glowing green things are scout flies, so they help you keep track of your trail. If you happen to run into monsters that like smaller monsters that want to attack you along the way, it'll disrupt your tracking, so having an idea of where you're going even without the scout flies is a good idea. We're headed up north, where on the little mini-map you can see the Anjanath. He's actually up there feeding, trying to recover his health, so hey, both of us went for a meal. Okay, don't take drugs, kids, but I just took a demon drug to increase my attack power. Which, after this fight, I've stopped using that, only because, and I'll point it out, I kept trying to retake the demon drug later on in the fight, and it wouldn't allow me to keep taking it, which I'm not sure why. So now I just carry might pills, which the duration is not as long, and I don't think the bonus is as high, but you can keep popping them in between when the monster runs away from you. I'm more than happy that he's not really fighting back at this point. Probably because, like I said, I know he was up here to eat, so I don't know, maybe he's on a full stomach. As far as the small, the other monsters come up, when they see a weakened big monster like him, they do try and jump in there and help fight. Unfortunately, because my attacks are kind of area effect, they usually get chopped up in the way. So the little red thing on the ground, bits and pieces that fall off the monsters. Some of them are parts that you can use for crafting. Some of them are things that you can put in your arm slinger. So that particular thing that fell off, that I'm gonna go grab now, is a slinger bomb. So it's kind of a little fire bomb. Just figure it's from his mouth, since he shoots fireballs. It's a T-Rex that has a flamethrower face. It's always a good idea to keep your weapons sharp. If your weapon is not sharp, then you'll deflect. So as you attack, it goes down. If you attack more armored parts of their body, it goes down faster. And even I had my other meal, eating things like that well done meat, which you cook yourself in the game, allows your stamina bar to be increased. I don't know if I used it yet. I also have max potions, which will help increase your health bar, which I think I take later because, well, we'll see. I'll point it out. Here's where I was talking about. So you pass by the other monsters, you lose the track, you lose the green trail, because the scout flies get confused, but luckily we knew where we were headed. Yeah, we don't want to let them... the longer they sleep, the more health they recover, so you don't want to let them rest for too long. So definitely get yourself prepped between bouts with the monster, but wait too long and you're back to fighting from square. So even now, it's considering he was weakened, which is why he was resting, it takes a while to knock him out. Some things to note about the nesting area for the Anjanath. I'm trying to stay along the outer edge where it's wood. You'll notice the center area, it kind of bounces. If you're on that, you can't stay on your feet. It's like a trampoline. So for me, it's a good idea to kind of stay on those outer edges. I can't remember what my Kinsect, the powder, does, because I haven't seen it. Usually you can tell by the color. I think this Kinsect powder is for health, and you can see there, like if you happen to step on that center area, you'll be off your feet. Sometimes it's better to just drop to a different area where you can recover a bit. Drink some potions, get stomped on by a big T-Rex with wings and flaming breath. So I'm trying to take the demon drug again, and it's not letting me. I kind of partially think it's because I'm still under the effects of the demon drug, because I see a red glow around me. It certainly doesn't feel like I'm doing that much damage to him, but hey, that maybe is the reason why it wasn't letting me. And there went his tail. So you can chop off pieces and parts of the monsters. Not every monster has parts that can be chopped off. They'll drop pieces, like we were saying earlier, the crafting parts or things that you can stick in your slinger. But sometimes, like in this case, you actually have a whole body part that falls off. Not only does that give you a bonus item that you can use for crafting, it makes it easier to fight them sometimes. In his particular case, if you hang out around his legs like this and try and like cut him below, that tail hits pretty hard. Even there with the tail cut off, it hits pretty hard. So having it cut off gives you a little bit of an easier time if you're in that back area trying to injure him. Yeah, I must still be under the effects of the demon drug. That was me just keep trying to load it up. But I still don't feel like I'm doing that much damage to him. This fight took a long time. So I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure this was my first time fighting the Anjanath. Which is kind of one of those things in Monster Hunter World. The first time you fight the monsters, unless you've read up online or really prepped. The first fights usually take a while. After you've geared up a bit, you know what you're looking for, what to expect. The fights don't take as long. On average for me so far, first fights with monsters take about half an hour, and then progressively get down to fighting them usually under 10 minutes. A lot of the investigations, there's pretty good rewards if you can take down or capture the monsters in under 15 minutes. So I take a lot of those. But usually again at that point you have a much better idea of what to expect. Like I did try and prep for this one with fire resistance. At this point in the game, I want to say I didn't have the best fire resistance gear. I have much better fire resistance gear now, so when you're mounting them, you can move around. I think on the upper right it shows to use the left stick, but you use the left stick and the attack button, you can do that rolling attack. And then if you happen to get knocked off, you can, if you have enough stamina left, you can sling your way back onto the back of the monster. And this is one of the reasons I like to use this Kinsect Glaive, because it does let you get aerial, and when you're up in the air it's easier to get on top of the monsters. So in the bottom left, the mini-map circle kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. It flashed purple there for a bit because I happened to whack a spore pod, which kind of covered me. And I really didn't expect that to kill him, but it did. Basically, the exploding pod from his mouth in his behind, and yeah, that was the end of the fight. So, kind of a nasty fight. When you capture them, it's only like a 10-second time limit. When you take them down, it does give you 60 seconds, so you have time to collect things and, like in this case, carve them up. But anyway, first video I captured for Monster Hunter World. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it shows you a bit of what the game's about. Thanks for watching.